Hello, everybody. How are you doing?
Evening.
Oh, we're back. I'm more or less back to normal. My pain is gone, and I had an RM. You know what an RM is? But in Italian, you say
Risonanza magnetica.
exactly.
Risonanza magnetica.
Risonanza magnetica. In English, is MR. It's the opposite.
Okay.
For example, magnetic resonance.
Resonance.
And then you have also a cat. What's a cat? A cat. Computerized something, tomography, and etc. You just go the opposite way. So the acronyms are this. I just had a magnetic resonance. I don't know. Let's hope. The doctor said wait 10 days and then we can start talking and thinking whether I need an operation or not. So I'm doing exercises, I'm taking the dog out, I'm jumping, I'm doing everything. So let's hope. I'm not looking forward to an operation, but I'll be okay. Yeah, something that like a computer, that is a scan. All these things, remember, are called scans. Okay, whenever you go, you know, in Italian, when you go for gli esami medici, in English, they're only tests. No, exams with me, tests with the doctor. So blood test, something test, urine test, name it, they're all tests. Okay, so end of the medical jargon, and now we can start the lesson. Okay, this evening, if it's all right with you, I was half thinking of, this is more for the new students, because probably my old students, I always try to change things a bit, but when it comes to explanations, it's very, very difficult. But I wanted to start giving the new students an idea about the importance of pronunciation and stress. You know, I'm not a grammar lover because, again, grammar is something you can develop. You read, you listen to people, you got your grammar inside, slowly, slowly, slowly. But if you don't know words, if you make a big mistake, you're talking, your grammar is perfect, and instead of saying something like, you know, I've just received a report from Bob, you say, I have received a report. English people will never, ever, ever understand you, and your grammar is perfect. So in a way, okay, grammar, fantastic. But pronunciation, understanding, copying people is essential. Again, then there are, having an Italian accent is not a crime. It's quite nice. Okay? French accent is quite nice. It's quite, you know, why not? It's a bit exotic, adds to the thing. So even if you retain a little bit of an Italian accent, it's fine. It's not a big problem. Some people have gifts, especially this new generation. God, they're terrible because they learn their English on YouTube. They walk in, they sound like Americans. And I tell you, they think, where are you from? You know, you start thinking, are you an American? And they're Italian, and they just, of course, listening. You see, that's the important thing. And I come across more and more students. I've been teaching for, I mean, you can tell I've been teaching for a long time, and the difference in students is enormous. Sometimes I have the feeling that and I know some of these poor students, when they, for example, high school or middle school, they're better than their teachers. the important thing is that I hope the teachers realize that their students are better and don't make them suffer too much. And so I want to start. I have this very long lesson. We can split it into 2, 3, 4 bits about the importance of pronunciation and stress. Okay. We can start with that. Then we could do a couple of heroes and villains, which the first one is quite interesting because it's got good vocabulary for work. With some words the Italian misuse. So it's quite interesting. And then we can go and do our scholars and etc. So I'm going to share. All right. One. And I can close this. I don't want it. And there we are. Slowly, slowly we get in there. Okay. Right. So can you see it? Wait, I'll make it slightly bigger. Can you see it properly?
Yes.
Good. Okay, I start off with some ambiguous sentences. Okay. I don't know whether you notice I have underlined some words. Okay, because of course when you talk in, and I will give you a semi-rule, there are some words, compound words, which usually get the stress on the first word. Okay, but if I say an ice cream and an ice cream dress, you see that there is no difference, because a nice, the word, it's all together in English. I don't know whether I told you, maybe I told my old students, when my daughter was little, one day she said to me, "Mom, could I have 2 Naples today?" Could I have 2 Naples today? Because of course, children, remember, they just get sounds. And so an apple, and so she thought it was a Napple, and so she wanted 2 Naples. In Italian, the mistake she would make, she wanted l'acqua. And this kind of mistakes, you see, children are very good at teaching you the way words are heard. Okay, so there is no difference. An ice cream and an ice cream, well, is a bit the stress, because here, if I'm talking, I say an ice cream with the stress on the ice. Here, the stress is more on the dress, an ice cream dress. Okay. A new display. Why not? A grade A. An aim. And tulips. This is slightly different, but why not? So you see that the language itself, we start off, can be extremely ambiguous. Then I will tell you in the future lessons the way certain consonants get changed or skipped completely, so that I can put words together. If you say good boy, good girl is just good girl, good boy. I don't get good and then pause boy. Again, because this is the big difference between Italian, remember, is a syllabic language. Even if recently I've noticed Italian has accelerated. The rhythm of Italian has changed. Sometimes can be very difficult to understand because people have accelerated terribly. what happened with the English started before. The language, if you listen or watch films, old films like, I don't know, 1960, 1950, you will notice that the language is a lot slower. Every so often people breathe between one word and the other. Nowadays, sometimes, you think, wait a minute, I understand what you're talking about, but your thought is too quick and I cannot follow it. So this is the language accelerating. So what happens? You're the listener, and what you want to identify is the meaning, but your attention must be on the stress, the rhythm, the context, and the random pauses. Unfortunately, or very, very few. Yeah, if you are a narrator, you want to add some emphasis, there are pauses, but very often it's bye-bye pauses. So the important thing, the first thing, English, remember, is a stress-timed language. The meaning of this, stress syllables occur at roughly regular intervals, okay? And the time it takes to say a sentence depends more on the number of syllables than the number of words. I don't care about the number of words. I can change. I can make them longer, shorter. I can stretch. I can do whatever. But the important thing is keeping the rhythm going. And this is the secret of the language. Contrast, Spanish, French, Italian are more syllable timed. If you in Italian, if you go, la mamma è andata a fare la spesa, you say, la mamma è andata a fare la spesa, and it's pum, 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 pum. In Italian, as if I remember correctly with my children, one of the things they teach you is how to divide a word into syllables. In English, you give up after the second lesson because there are more rules. It's a nightmare. If you want to divide a word into syllables, you look up in the dictionary. Okay. So remember, consonants are short sounds. Vowels are elastic. K is always k, s, t, f, h. They're there, they're short. But look at the difference. Car, see, cat, sit, care, fame, bed, hug. You see the variety. Nice and long car, takes a half an hour. See again. But the others, you see, they're getting shorter and shorter. And again, this is another thing to bear in mind. So consonant, short sound, vowel, I can stretch them around. And this is the important thing. In English, you have content words and function words. Okay, function words carry only grammatical meaning. So, you know my love for grammar. If I say something, for example, look, and you can't understand what's in between me, you know for a fact that I've said at. So function words are not that important. They put things together, but even if you miss one out, nothing happens because the grammar you got somewhere inside you is there saying, oh, wow, there must be something between look and me. And you know that 99.9% must be at. Instead, content words carry real meaning. So if I'm talking normally, my attention and stress will be on the content words because I want you to understand what I'm talking about. Whatever is in between, well, it's not that necessary. So normally content words carry stress on the strong syllables. okay? Function words are unstressed or weak. Function words, I'll send it to you, have two different pronunciations. One is strong and the other one is weak. This is an example. For example, if I say, I'm angry with you, and I say, look at me, you see, boom, boom. But you see that at, it's a nice short vowel, as in cat, okay? And I put stress on. In English, whenever I take the stress away from a vowel, the vowel become a schwa. And so, look at me. This sound is the same sound you find in above, the beginning above, because it's not stressed, okay? So whenever you don't stress it, this is what happens, okay? Here there are some examples. So content words are stressed. Then maybe there might be an unstressed vowel inside, but the word, when I pronounce it, I stress it. I don't change. They have one pronunciation. That's it, not two. Okay, so it's kitchen, pizza, table. Main verbs: visit, construct, walk. Adjectives, all these things are important because you want to send a message. You want me to understand that the kitchen, I visited the kitchen, there was pizza inside and it was absolutely beautiful and the sky outside was blue. So you see that this is all my meaning. Most adverbs, because maybe you want to add some information. Important. Well, if I have one and I have 1,000, it's a big difference. So very, very important. Usually interjections, few, well, this kind of stuff, usually you put a little bit of stress. Yes and no answers, because you want the message to be nice and clear. Negatives and negative auxiliary, so never, no, not, nothing, won't, you see, can't. Very often people have problems with this pronunciation. Remember, can has two pronunciations because it's an auxiliary. It's a modal. So if I say I can do it, you know, I put I, you hear something in between, do it, and you know that 95% of the time is probably can. So I can do it. This first one, when I'm talking quickly, becomes a schwa. But can't, I want you to hear that I can't possibly do that. Okay, so can't is nice and long. It has the stress and etc. But for example, if I say I'm offering and I want to emphasize can, I say, I can't do that. You see, boom, little bit of this. This is what happens to the language. Instead, we have our function words. Oh yes, and the questions. How, when, who, where, what. Yeah, they're sort of, all these, remember, carry meaning, therefore stressed. This one depends on the moment, on the mood, whether you want to stress something, the kind of, the impact you want your speech to have on the listener, okay? All these words, and I send you I have it, millions and millions of lists, have two ways to be pronounced. One is strong, the other one is weak. So we have determinants. Well, usually people don't go around saying a nice day. They say nice day because this is unstressed. So this should be if I had to give it a name, I call it A, but usually the pronunciation is and of course the other one and. Okay, if you say an apple, you say an apple, but okay, can be, but it all depends on the stress. Some, this, that, my, more. If you're quick, you pronounce them quickly. These the auxiliaries again, preposition, okay, to or t, of or of, at and et, and etc. Conjunction, but and but. Today I was playing something to this girl, and she asked me, why did the woman pronounce us? Because she was talking quickly, and she was very good. She managed to hear it. Because give us a break. It is okay. Give us a break, but give us a break. It becomes us. So you see, this word, the ones you really don't need because you know they're there, they can be pronounced extremely quickly. These are some examples. Let's get and. You go fish and chips. You see, you don't go and fish and chips. If I say 355, I don't go 300, stop, and 55. I go 355. You hear it, you don't hear it, you know it's there. You see, she can speak Spanish better than I can. But you see, the first one is unstressed because she can speak English, we all know, better than I can. And you want to get a bit of a stress. Pint of beer. Okay. This become of. Again, this sound of is very similar to you finished. Very. In English, sometimes you just hear finished, and sometimes they just say finished. Yes, I have. Again, the answer, you don't add anything, and therefore you want to put some stress. Should. Okay, I've seen this mistake, which is very bad, very, very bad mother tongue English students. Sometimes they make this mistake. You would never, ever, ever, ever make this mistake because, of course, you know your grammar and you know that you cannot have a preposition. But if you read it, should have told me it's the same sound. And so if you are really, really bad, why not? This is a mistake I've seen made by mother tongue speakers. Foreigners never do this because they've been told, should do something. But when they write, the sound is the same. Should have told me, should have told me. Of. So here we are, the basic rules of a sentence stress. Remember, content words are stressed, the important ones. The function, very unstressed if I'm talking normally, okay? If I'm angry, if I want to put some emphasis, okay, the rule changes. But usually in normal speech, okay, structure or function words are unstressed. the time between stressed words is always the same. Again, the timing can vary based on the speaker, the context, and the intended meaning of the sentence. If I want to, for example, attract the attention of someone, so the timing and the stress changes. But in normal speech, if you see, okay, we have the important thing: kids, beat, and drums. In this sentence, you see my important words. If you hear kids beat drums, you understand it. There is something missing, but there isn't very much missing, because that is the kids beat the drums. And even if I add a little wail, it doesn't really matter, because the kids will beat the drums, and the kids will be beating the drums, and the kids have been beating the drums. You see, more or less, the time it takes me to say this sentence is almost the same. What I do, for example, if I go, the kids beat the drums, maybe I relax a bit more. Here, remember that this time here, and this time here, and this time here are always the same. This is the famous sentence. Imagine you receive this message: sell, ... car, ... gone, France. More or less, you think, okay, there is no grammar, but somebody wants you to sell. It's an imperative: sell car, go in France. Maybe they migrated to France and they want you to sell the car. We can add a few words: sell my car, I've gone to France. The new words, they don't give you more extra info. They just fill us. You knew everything already. Okay, they make the message more sort of grammatically correct. You can add more. You want to be polite. Oh, will you sell my car because I've gone to France? Okay, but you see that all the green bits have the same length. If they are longer, for example, my is shorter than because I have. Well, you shorten because I have. So will you sell my, and you go a bit longer, my car because of, and you go shorter here. And then you go relax a bit on the two. Okay. Again, Bob went to the shop to get some Coke. But even if Bob went shop get Coke, you know what happened. Soon collected results post. You more or less understand. Remember, the thing is, stress is important for pronunciation. It adds music to the language. It's the rhythm of the English language. If you pay attention to this, you'll see that your pronunciation will improve. Okay? And this is what I was telling you before. The time between two consecutive stressed syllables is the same. The content words are stressed. The unstressed function words in between are said much more quickly in order to keep the rhythm of the language. You see? So, here you are. Go and see film. You know that. Yes, how are you going to see a film? Who helped move bike garage? Who can help me move the bike in the garage? You see, pay attention from now on, when you listen to people, and even maybe we can start off paying attention, for example, to the recordings the villains and heroes and etc. The way the language, the rhythm, follow it, and realize that the stress can help me. Even if you can't hear this, who can help me move? But it is who can help me move. Who help move bike? What do you see? This one becomes Jew. What do you think about? What do you think about this black skirt? Why don't you grab some beer? But some, is there. Okay, so here is the last bit. Remember, weak and strong form. Many function words, and I'll send you the list, have two pronunciations. This, the strong one, and this. You see, my friend can have the short one. I can do that, and I can do that. Okay, look at me. I have something, but you got a pen. You heard, you got a pen, okay? And the same with of. Okay, we use the strong form, and usually at the end of a sentence. If I say, look at me, you know that at is in between look and me. But if I leave the preposition and the preposition migrates toward the end of the sentence, I need to put a little bit of stress. What are you looking at? If you try to say, what are you looking at? You see, it sounds odd. Okay, so when prepositions come at the end of the sentence, they're stressed. For emphasis, I said for you, not for me. In isolation, for what? Sometimes you say for, because you want to be heard. Contracted negatives, as I told you before, are always strong because you need, you see, if I can't hear it, means it's positive. I can do that, but I can't do that. You mustn't do that. But when I say I must do that, I must with a schwa. But if I put emphasis, I must do something in my life. But there is a difference. I must do something with my life. You see, one is stressed, the other one isn't. But when it comes to the negative, you mustn't talk to the driver, and you can't do that to me. And I think, this is the last bit for this evening. The famous schwa, the schwa. I sent you readings and stuff and etc. It's weak. Remember, it occurs in. So is one. The schwa is the most common sound in the English language. It occurs in loads of words. It's weak, unstressed. Very often you find it in function words, so prepositions and etc. If you manage to get it correctly, your pronunciation will improve. For example, if you say something above is the right sound. The first above, okay, because it's not above, it's above. Examples: balloon, problem, family, the famous bottom, support. You see, analysis. Very often, even please. This please is a schwa. It's not, you see, if you try to pronounce it in a different way, you say police, and it's wrong. It's police. Okay. And then you have about, no, go, yeah, banana. You see, banana. These two sound, the first one and the last one, are the same. There it is with our police, you see. So it's not police, it's police. The same with the company, and information is this sound here. Okay, so this is part one of my very, very long story on the English stress and pronunciation. Is everything clear up to now? Have you fallen asleep? I hope not. Good. Unfortunately, it's useful, yeah. And if you take it lightly, the thing is that if you know the existence of something, then you can pay attention. When people speak to you, you say, that's what Juliana was talking about. That's the reason why that woman is saying us instead of us. I've always made a mistake in pronouncing please. And slowly, you pay more attention. Your curiosity develops a bit further, and you learn a lot. And so this basically is what I want to do with you. So now, instead, for something a bit more kind of cheerful, we could do maybe one, let's see, one here or 1 here and a half, and then carry on with our lesson on the English language, because we are approaching false friends, and there are a lot. So I'm going to open this one. Slowly, very slowly. Then this one.
This week, the heroes outnumber the villains.
Wait a minute. I'll make it a bit smaller while I'm here. Okay. And we can minimize this somewhere, and then move you out here as usual. Okay, the reason why I wanted to start with this is because of this exercise. You know that Italy, after COVID, started smart working here and there and everywhere. I think it's even smart work is one of those words people use all the time. But, you know, there is smart work and there is something else. It's not just smart work. What about work from home? Home working, remote working, telecommuting, smart working, work at home, and etc., etc. So I want just to tell you exactly, explain that in Italy, the meaning given to smart work is a bit too wide, okay? It includes a bit too many things. But first, listen to the recording. I made loads of mistakes here. As there are mistakes, there are omissions, there is absolutely everything. Then we can answer the question and do the exercise. But first, listen, because it's quite interesting. And then I'll stop, if I can move it up. Okay, and then I'll stop for you so you can tell me the correction. Just listen the first time and tell me if it's loud enough.
This week, the heroes outnumber the villains.
Can you hear it properly? Good.
Our first hero, people who work from home, for doing their bit to reverse falling birth rates. Economists have calculated that the rise in working from home resulted in a massive 291,000 additional births in the US in 2024. Researchers from King's College London say that if the government want to raise the fertility rate, then encouraging remote working is a very low-cost policy.
Okay, now I'm playing it second time. Pay attention to all these silly words, the from, the for, the to, that, and the, and of, and in, and etc. And realize that they are pronounced quickly without any stress. Okay? And find the mistakes.
Heroes outnumber the villains. Our first hero, people who work from home.
Very good. So I'll put it like this. Who work. People working from home is perfectly correct. People who work from home is perfectly correct. So, but this is what it says in the recording.
People who work from home, for doing their bit to reverse falling birth.
Did you get that? Okay, so we got the for, Rosa got the doing, and Federica and Francesca, and the says so. For going is wrong, and for doing, and okay, listen to this silly word. What would you put instead of a? Instead of a, what would you say? We're talking about people, okay? People who work from home for doing ... bit. I'm doing, nope. Remember the possessives in English are very important. Very good, Sabina. Listen to it again now.
People who work from home, for doing their bit to reverse.
You see, for doing their bit. So this one is wrong. And this is correct. Because you do your bit and I do my bit, okay, is an expression, and we'll see the meaning of this expression.
For doing their bit to reverse falling birth rates.
Very good, yes. Falling. Birth rates.
To reverse falling birth rates. Economists have calculated that the.
Very good. So have, again, what's the big difference? You know, if you're an American, you would quite probably say economists calculated, or economists have calculated. They're perfectly correct.
Economists have calculated that the rise in working from home.
Yeah, this is a mistake. In work, this is working from home, WFH. The acronym is being used a lot.
working from home resulted in a massive 291,000 additional births.
Yeah. So it's 291,000. Remember, between the 2 and the 9, always between the hundreds and the tens, there is always and. Even if you cannot hear it. Sometimes the Americans don't say it, but the Americans are Americans, and we all know that. Okay, it's 291,000.
$91,000 additional births in the US in 2024.
Very good. In, you need this, and of course this one becomes capital. Okay.
In 2024. Researchers from King's College London
Okay, I give up. London.
from King's College London say that if the government want to raise the fertility rate.
Very good. Yes. Remember, the pronunciation is different. Okay. This one is won't, as in phone, cone, and bone. And this one, the government want. The government, this is want. Want to. The government is seen as a sort of people in the government, so want to.
The fertility rate, then encouraging remote working is a very low cost. If the government want to.
Okay, very good. Rate. This one, how do you, this one, remember, if I take away the E, okay, it becomes rat, those related to mice, okay? But if I add my E, becomes rate.
London say that if the government want to raise the fertility rate, then encouraging remote working is a very low cost policy.
Very good. Low. Okay. Low cost. Coast is when you go to the seaside, and cost is the price of something, and this one again is policy. The other one was, you see, policy and police. Okay, first of all, true, false, you answer the questions. Economists from King's College London believe working from home contributed to an increase in birth in the UK. Is that true or false? Someone said in the USA, and so it's false. Yeah, because not in the UK, definitely. Okay, and they're not the economists from King's College in London. So there are mistakes. Recent research suggests that remote work is not a magic bullet for fertility. And then I will ask you what a magic bullet is. Is it? Yeah, very. Okay, false. Okay. Remember one thing, when in doubt, treat research as if it were uncountable. I'll tell you, Nicoletta, I have a word here. I'll ask you in a minute what a magic bullet is. It's something magic. So treat research when in doubt as if it were uncountable. Because research is always very difficult and it's very technical. So research suggests, okay? And so this is false. More than 290,000 extra births were linked to the rise of working from home in 2024. Yeah. According to economists, remote working may contribute to fertility problems, contribute to baby boom, reduce employment or slow economic growth. Yeah. If something booming means, increasing tremendously. A boom is an explosion. And number 5, researchers from King's College London describe remote working as an expensive experiment, controversial strategy, a cheap strategy, or a temporary trend. Yeah. Well done. Yes, because they're saving a lot of money. It's nice and cheap. Okay. And now we have this. So, in your opinion, if you work from home, WFH, what do? You just give me the number. It's definitely not 3. No, it's not 3. It's not even 7. It's 8. I've seen it, I spotted it. Yeah. It's 8. This is working from home. Employees perform their duties from a designated registered home address. Very usually is in your contract, and you have your address registered and you work from home. WFH. And that's it. Okay. Homeworking. They're very similar, it's not that there is a big difference, but if you want, according to the law, this is the what happens. So you have your home, you're registered, you work from home, and sometimes you are actually the company can keep an eye on you in a sort of following the law. They can see when you log on, log off, and etc. You have your timetables. This homeworking is more this one. I'll move it here. Doing paid work at home and not in a company office, which is very similar, but you see, here you're registered, here you have a contract, here is a bit more relaxed. You do paid work, you're paid, but maybe you're not, you're freelance. Instead of, you are a seamstress, for example, and you stay at home, you do whatever you got to do, and then you send it to the office or the factory. Okay. Then we have remote working. remote working, this is the most, the kind of, the broadest, broad is wide. A broad term for working away from the employer's premises, allowing work from cafes, co-working, other cities, because, for example, you are a sales agent, okay, and you're working in your car while you're going to visit a client in Rome. That's remote working. You use a computer, okay. You stop for a cup of coffee, you switch on your computer, and there you are. You go to a company and you say, is there a desk for me where I can sit down and do something? You move to other cities. You see, it's not a registered home address. Your work actually is very sort of, is a broad term. So basically, instead of having an office, you travel around and you can choose where you work. Could be your car, could be your bedroom, could be the toilet, could be anywhere, absolutely. Then we have this telework, telecommuting, commuting. Yes, it is number 6. Okay, telecommuting, I move it here. Using telecommunications, what have we done? Technology to replace commuting. Remember, to commute is when, for example, in the morning you wake up, you drive to the station, you get on the train, you go to Milan, you work your day, and then at 6 o'clock, drop your pen, go to the station, come back to Turin, get in the car, and go home. This is commuting, pendolare, okay? So telecommuting is basically, I use the computer instead of going up and down like an idiot from my office in Milan and my home in Turin. And then this is the favorite word for the Italians. Easy. For the Italians, smart working is the word, which pendolare. Smart working, which, yes, it is number 7. I'm moving it up. Okay. Smart working is not just where you are, but the thing is that it's smart. You're using, you want your work to be clever, to be quick. You're using technology, so smart working, you always use a computer. It doesn't really matter about the location, but the problem is how you do your work. So you can choose your own hours, so it's a bit more stretchy. Location, for example, for you is better because you, for example, you work with America. Well, you can't work from 8 o'clock Italian time until 6 o'clock Italian time, because it depends where in America. Because if you have to talk to someone, you won't be able to speak to this person. And so you have to choose your own hours, because you got to be smart, because you want to get in touch with your customers in order to maximize productivity, often without a 9 to 5 fixed schedule. Because again, sometimes you're working with China, or you're working even the north of Italy to the south of Italy or Spain. The timetable sometimes is slightly different. So the important thing with smart working is that you try to do your best so that it's the work, the important thing, okay? Not where and etc. Work at home. If you work at home, is number 2. Okay, I put it here. You basically, your little company, you have your own company, you decide that your home is your office, or maybe even your little shop at home. You're running a business from home. These are quite important. When you log on and log off, yep. Okay. Log on, log off, you start your day, and very often with work from home, the people in the company tell you, okay, your stretchy time is from 9 o'clock until 10 o'clock. So in between 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock, you have to log on. And then in the evening, they give you the other time, okay? Then we have remote employee. This is a general term. Let me see what okay, yes, number 4. I couldn't see number 4. Right. Somebody who's, this is again, if I want to define a remote employee, is somebody who doesn't work in the office. And so the primary location is not the company office. And then there is quite a nice word, hot desk. You can use it as a verb. You can go hot desking, or you can have a hot desk. Use, for example, in these big companies, sometimes in order to save offices and etc., or you're visiting a company, you walk into the company and say, is there a desk I can sit at? And so they call it hot desk because maybe someone has just got up and the desk is still hot, it's just being used. And so you get the first desk available, and you use it as a permanent desk for that day, okay? And then a rotation desk. It could be, yeah, I read this somewhere, yeah. And then hybrid work. For example, I have a friend of mine. She lives in London. She's an engineer. She's Italian, and sometimes she comes. She comes home, and she works from home in Italy. The only thing she's required is to turn up in the office. I can't remember. I think every 3 days, every 2 weeks, or something like that. So employees work from home or wherever they like for part of the week, but are required to show up for meetings, collaborations, and other things. And this is called hybrid work. So I hope this is finally clear. Okay. And now we're doing some vocabulary. So if you do your bit, what do you do? Do you make an individual contribution to an overall effort? Do you avoid work, duties, and responsibilities? Or you work more than 48 hours a week on average? Or you make your money go further with a monthly donation? Yeah, A. Very often you say, I did my bit, now it's your turn. Then we have policy. A prolonged, heated argument, a rural strategy. Very good, yes. is, yeah, in Italian I think politica aziendale, politica, something like that. And the famous, you can call it magic, or you can also call it silver bullet. Is it a splitting headache, a self-guiding bullet that can steer itself towards something, towards, I forgot a bit, the target, let's add it. A medical treatment that works very quickly and effectively, or a fast and effective solution to a serious problem. You see, I made a mistake. Okay, sorry about this. Definitely D, but there is another one which is correct. C, yes. Your silver bullet or your magic bullet can be a medical treatment which works quickly and effectively. I had pain in my leg, I got this medicine, and that was a magic and silver bullet because the pain went immediately. Or the magic solution, a fast and effective solution to the problem. And now we have a little bit of pronunciation, which is always good for you. So the I in this word is similar to the sound in A, B, C, D, E, all of them, just one. Okay. You say A, definitely. Let's make it green. So, okay. Bird, birth. B, and why not? Nurse is exactly the same. Nurse, bird, nurse. Yeah, nice and identical. We know that birth and birth are homophones. What about D? How do you pronounce this silly word? You pronounce it beard, beard. So nothing to do with this sound. Beard is that stuff you grow in your face, and this beard. It's I and the schwa. Okay. Beard. Okay. I'll send you the phonetics. Term instead is identical. So you see, doesn't matter how I write stuff. The important is how I read it. Bird, nurse, birth, term, all is the same sound. And I can carry on with first, word, word. It's always the same sound. So it's A, B, C, E. Yeah, very good. This word, distress. Is it on the first one, the second one? Yeah. Yeah, because it's encourage. Remember, this one is pronounced as in cut. You know, cut, you cut something, encourage. Encourage. And the stress is here because it's nice and stressed. And is it true or false? The word remote, adjective or noun, is generally stressed on the second syllable, not the first. Yeah, it is true. Remote, because it's remote. And the last bit, grammar. if more people worked from home, birth rates, yes. Very good. B, might be because the other ones are impossible. No, will be because it's work, not are, not would have been. So the only one is might. And some phrasal verbs. Governments have recently brought up, brought in, brought over, brought about policies encouraging remote work. Very good, yes. Brought up a child. Brought over, you carry from somewhere over where I am here. Bring about, very often bring about, clouds can bring about some rain, for example. But you bring in some law, some something, policies, and etc. And researchers have carried on, off, up, out. It's not. I would say they have carried on with their studies, means to continue. Okay, so I wouldn't have used. Let me go like this and change the sentence slightly. If you go, researchers have carried on with their studies on fertility trends. Here, carried on is nice, but carry out means intraprendere, realizzare, non continuare. Okay, you know what I mean? So in the first sentence, out, in the first sentence, if you put with, it's nicer. They carried on with their studies on fertility trends. Okay, now you can choose. You tell me whether you want to do number 2 or you want to do the lesson. We still have number 2. Shall we carry on with number 2 and next time we do the lesson? So we have a bit of a lesson. Okay, we can carry on. Okay, this time we carry on with number 2. Next time we could do the language lesson and then maybe do the language lesson, carry on with the pronunciation and do a little bit of translation. Why not throw in? So listen to the recording, fill in the gaps and answer the questions. So first, let me get the recording. First listen and then I'll stop.
Policy. The second hero is OpenAI CEO Sam Altman for providing a spirited and not at all insane defense of the enormous amounts of energy required to run his large language models. It also takes a lot of energy to train a human, says Altman. It takes 20 years of life and all of the food you eat during that time before you get smart. And not only that, it took the very widespread evolution of the 100 billion people that have ever lived and learned not to get eaten by predators and learned how to figure out science and whatever to produce you.
Okay.
Our third.
Right. So going back.
CEO Sam Altman.
No, wait.
Hero is OpenAI CEO.
Yes. So CEO. Oops. Do you know what CEO stands for? Chief Executive Officer. Very good. Yeah.
CEO Sam Altman for providing a spirited and not at all insane defense of the
Very good. Very good. So, not at all. Saving this. Okay, I just repeat this word because there are some doubts on the word.
for providing a spirited and not at all insane defense of
Very good. You see that this not at all is nice, and there is no stress, not at all. Not at all. It's not at all. It's not at all.
and not at all insane defense of the enormous amounts of energy required to run his large language models.
Very good. So, to run. Very good. Yes, his large. Okay, if you run something, remember that we will see it in the I think it's run. Yeah, run is one of those words. If you look at run up in the dictionary, is a never-ending story. You can run a mile, you can run a business, you can run short of money, you can have a runny nose. Oh God, you can run up, run in, run on, and etc. Run about. It's one of those verbs which have so many meanings. And so in this case, it's basically to manage these large language models. Okay, you can run out of money, you can run out of petrol. In these days, run out of petrol, definitely.
Run his large language models. It also takes a lot of energy to train a human, says Al.
Very good, yes.
Of energy to train a human, says Altman. It takes 20 years of life.
Yes. 20 of life. Okay.
Says Altman. It takes 20 years of life and all of the food you eat during that time before you get smart.
And it's quite expensive. Before you get smart, very good. Before you get smart. And it's not enough.
Before you get smart. And not only that, it took the very widespread evolution.
Yes, very good. It took
the very widespread evolution of the 100 billion people that have ever lived and learned.
That your grammar. What would you put that? People that, very good, have ever lived. So even if you can't hear have, you know is there, because they started and they're still doing it, have, ever. But ever, if you pay attention, ever is stressed. And lived is stressed. It's the have which is, even if you can't hear it, it doesn't really matter. Listen to it again.
Spread evolution of the 100 billion people that have ever lived and learned not to get eaten.
You see, it's nice and quick. It's there, but who cares? Okay, so this goes back to my lesson, the very beginning of my lesson. You don't need to hear it.
Have ever lived and learned not to get eaten by predators and learned how to figure out science and whatever to produce you.
And whatever, very good. Not you produce, but whatever, so that you can be produced. And so, whatever to produce you. Okay, which is expensive. It takes a lot. So, true or false? Our friend Sam Altman argued that training AI requires a lot of energy. Definitely it does. He compared AI training to the long process of human learning and evolution. Yes. Altman claimed that AI models require less energy than humans. Yes, false. Yeah, because it's just the whole thing. Look, 20 years of life, the energy, and etc., etc. Sam Altman compares AI development with animal training, government research, large-scale manufacturing of goods, or human education and evolution. Yeah. Now, say the whole thing is about you, food. You get smart. So this get smart is the education. All the food you eat. So it's human education and evolution. His argument suggests that AI energy use can be viewed in context, should be banned, is unjustified, is decreasing rapidly. Yeah. And now we have a couple of vocabulary quiz. Spirited. Spirited means funny, causing laughter, or be convinced of the existence of ghosts, or energetic and determined, or suffering from alcohol use disorder. Remember that in Italian, this is the link to my lesson next week, spiritoso is funny. Okay, spirited, you're full of spirit, you energy, determination, and etc. So absolutely nothing to do with being funny, nothing to do with being an alcoholic. This one even has this disease, suffering from alcohol use disorder, is called AUD. And then we have insane. Insane is somebody lacking physical strength. Use, let's see, someone who is extremely foolish. Yes. Yes, definitely C. Remember, if you are insane, you have a problem. You can okay, you can be, oh, that's insane. You bought a Gucci bag and you spent 3,000. That's a bit foolish. But if you start, doing something mental, or you start being very, very odd, you become a lunatic, and you have a severe mental illness, and you can become insane. It's a disease. Figure out. Figure out, become stronger, or firmer. Go on a diet. Be figure conscious, or understand or solve. Yes. If you become stronger or firmer, okay, you can turn up. Yeah, turn up. Maybe, when you do something, you go on a diet, nothing to do. Remember that figure can be numbers, but also if you are figure conscious, you want your shape to be nice. So you go on a diet because you're figure conscious, okay? The verb instead, the phrasal verb figure out, means to understand, solve, and etc., etc. And we can manage with the pronunciation. Okay, this is good. In this word, the O is similar to the sound in A, B, C, D, E, or F. So let's see A. Do you think this word no, this word, this one, is different. It's pronounced worry, worry, as in London, company, some. Okay, London company, some, worry. So not worry. War, worry, don't worry. So then we have dog. Yeah, dog is model. So let's go with dog. What about C? C is monk. Monk as in worry, and so. What about D? D as in front, as in monk, as in worry, and so. Absolutely not. But someone said E, perfect. Yes, froth. Froth is O, perfect. And F is wasp. So remember, the thing which links worry, monk, and front is that this one, and this one are pronounced A, as in London, some, company. Instead, model, dog, froth, wasp. Our friend vowel sound is as in foot or as in soon. Yeah, it's long. Food. I need my food. Nice, long. While this one is foot, short, as in look. So look, foot, short. Food, soon, boom, nice and long. Number 3, our word is a 2-syllable adjective pronounced with a primary stress on the second syllable. Is it correct or false? I'm sorry. It's false. Okay, I give you the rule we will see with the pronunciation. 95% of the times when you find a compound word, wide and spread, the stress is on the first bit. Okay, so it's widespread. No, widespread. It's cheesecake. No, cheesecake. you know, it's hot dog. No, hot dog. To say it with a stress on the second either changes the meaning or makes the word a bit odd. Okay, so it goes like this: widespread. So the primary stress is on the first one. This is interesting. We have this word, past tense verb, and then we have the adjective. Is it true? They're pronounced differently. It is true. And if you want, next time, if you remind me, I'll give you the rule. Learned is the verb. Learned, as in wicked, is the adjective. Now, I'm running a bit short of time. I'll make a note, and next time I'll give you the rule. I'll tell you why this one is pronounced learned. So you talk about a learned man. Learned is lesson. Okay. Well, I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Oh, I'm late for a very important date.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you very much.
Good night. Bye bye.
Thank you, Juliana, for your lesson. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Juliana.
Good night. Bye-bye. Good night.
Bye.
I'll send you
Bye,
notes,
everybody.
send you everything as usual. Okay.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.